welcome to our 15-minute morning yoga flow. So nice, simple movements just to wake us up and get us ready for the day ahead. So just a nice, comfortable space that you need. Just a small space is fine. We're only going to be staying kind of in the size of a yoga mat area. You don't need a mat. I've just got carpet this morning, so that's fine. Nice, comfortable clothes, and we'll get going. So all I want you to do to start is find a nice, comfortable seated position. This can be cross-legged. If that isn't comfortable for you, just simply stretch the legs out in front, or you can have one out and one folded in, whichever feels best. Whichever way that you sit, just think about staying nice and lengthened through the spine, up through the crown of the head. Relax those shoulders. So if you're comfortable, just close your eyes for a second, or just find a gaze that you can softly focus upon. All I want you to do is take a few breaths in and out. So try and make those breaths lengthened. So a deep inhale in through the nose. And let go through the mouth. So just do 2 or 3 of those, nice and long in through the nose. Fill the belly and the lungs with air, and then sigh out. So just a few breaths of normal breathing, but just think about how your body feels this morning. Just think about how your spine feels. Is it lengthened? Are you rolling forward? Are your shoulders rolling forward? If they are, just roll the shoulders up, back and down. Sit tall again, pushing up through the sit bones, up through the spine, and again out of the crown of the head. Allow the legs to relax open if you're sitting cross-legged. If you've got the legs out straight in front, then just push away gently with the heel so you're lengthening through the back of the leg, through the calf and up through the hamstring. So just a couple more breaths. Okay, what I want you to do now is just look towards your right shoulder. Just feeling a gentle stretch through the side of the neck. And then allow your chin to drop down towards the chest as you slowly roll the neck around so you're then facing over your left shoulder. Just pause there, again feeling the stretch down the right side of your neck. And then just repeat in your own time, going right to left, dropping that chin down to the chest. Don't force the head down. Looking over the shoulder. Don't forget to breathe. As you're looking over your shoulder, on the next exhale, just see if you can cast your gaze a little bit further over your shoulder. We're not forcing the side of the neck, but just so you feel that stretch. And repeat on the other side. On the exhale, just cast the gaze slightly further. And back to centre. Okay, thinking about those shoulders now. So how do they feel? Are they quite rounded? Are they tight? But we're just going to do some gentle shoulder rolls. So we're going to lift the shoulders up towards the ears, roll towards the back of the room, down to the floor, and repeat. You may feel some clicks as the shoulders rotate. spend quite a lot of time on computers or on phones or just hunched over writing at desks and you don't have the best posture, which is hard to maintain a lot of the time, I know, and you can get really tight through those shoulders. Just think how that feels. Okay, hold it there and then just lift the shoulders up towards the ears and then drop down. Can you feel that tightness as the shoulders lower to the floor? Just a couple more of those in your own time. Shrugging up and lower down. Okay, taking the left hand, just put it across onto the outside of the right knee or the right thigh. Take your right hand just behind your back on the floor. Breathe in, and as we exhale, we just twist around. Take a few breaths here. Again, keep that length through the spine, don't collapse in. Return to centre. Now take the right hand just outside the left thigh. Right hand, left hand behind. And twist round. And come back to centre. Okay, just find a nice comfortable way. We're just going to go onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. When you do this, you want to make sure your knees are stacked underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. And we're going to do some simple cat-cows, which is a really nice release for the back. So don't worry too much about breathing at the minute. We do add the breath into the movement, but these videos are designed for beginners. All we want to do is think about tucking our tailbone down, allowing the head to drop and creating that rounded shape in the spine. Take a couple of breaths. And then we go into our cat, where the tailbone lifts, the head lifts. And see if you can push the shoulder blades, just see if you can soften those. So instead of pushing up through this, you're allowing the shoulder blades to just feel as though they might be slightly coming closer together. So now you've created like a U shape with the back. And the same again, drop the tailbone, allow the head to drop. Bring the tailbone back up, head up, and allow those shoulder blades to just soften and come towards each other. Now try and remember to think about the breath, just keeping it nice and rhythmic in and out. But you can do this now in your own time. Also, feel free to add movement where it feels comfortable for you. All our bodies are different, and what feels good for one might not feel good for another. You might find some side to side movement feels nice. You might feel a figure of 8 helps release. You might want to flow in and out of the movements.
But if you're quite new to doing some of these, just feel, how does your back feel? Your shoulders. Just listen to the sweet spots and the tight spots. Try some more movement again. This is good for mobilising through our wrist joints as well. And come back to centre. Okay, I'm just going to turn around to face you, but all we're going to do is come up to a kneeling position. You can keep the feet flat on the floor, or you can just keep them tucked under for a while, which stretches out those toes. And all we're going to do is put the hands together, lock the fingers, and just do some gentle circles with the wrists. Again, you might feel some little clicking noises in there. All of our joints, our wrists, elbows, knees, ankles, they all need mobilising during the day. And by putting movement through the joints, we lubricate them, which helps look after them. Okay, just reach those arms out in front. So we're feeling the stretch across the shoulder blades, the top of the back. Keeping that length through the spine. If you've had the toes tucked, you can try laying the feet flat on the floor. And then lift those arms up. You can release the hands if that feels better. And just feel that length rise up through the spine, through each vertebrae. Take a big inhale. Breathe down. And drop the hands. You can link the hands behind or just reach behind to get a nice gentle stretch across the front of the chest. And again, that just depends on the mobility you've got in your shoulder joints. Don't forget to breathe. And release. Okay, staying in this position, bring the hands down to the floor, grip the floor with the palms and the fingers. We're going to tuck those toes under, and as we breathe out, we're just going to push the heels down and the bum up towards the ceiling. Just allow the head to fall. You can gaze back between the legs or just find a spot gently on the floor. But try not to hold the head up. Always think about, you want the back, the head and the neck to be in line with each other. And once we're here, just pedal those legs. Again, like we did with the cat-cow, just find some movement. What feels nice for you. So we're lengthening through the backs of the legs. Again, you might want to take some sideways movement. Going up onto the tiptoes and moving forward. Okay. Now just gently walk the feet in towards the hands, keeping a bend in those knees, and just allow the body to drop. So the hinge in the hips, relaxing the shoulders, the head is heavy, but we're dropping. Now if you can, grab each elbow, and it's like we're a rag doll. So keep those knees soft, and just gently find some movement side to side. Breathing in and out. Okay, allow the hands to drop. Just come part way up. Forward fold down again. Plant the hands down on the ground. Take a step back into our downward dog again. Okay, this time we're just going to step forward with the left leg, lower the right down towards the floor, untuck the toes, and then if that feels you don't want your knee too far over your foot, so if you need to adjust slightly to get that comfortable position, hands just gently either side, try not to hunch over with the back, and we're just feeling the space between the hips, around the pelvis, we're feeling that open. Again, find your movement, find your space. Inhale, nice and deeply into the belly and the lungs. And we'll give a nice cleansing breath out. I know if it's the first time you've done the kind of breathing through the mouth, it can be a little bit strange, but if you're in your own space at home, no one will hear. Okay, all we're going to do is gently roll the body back so that we're lengthening out through that front leg. Lift the toes up and just feel the hamstring and the calf lengthen. Again, just hold that for a couple of breaths. And then just find some movement. So we rock forwards and back, not overstretching. This is still designed just to wake our bodies up. Movement through the hips, the pelvis, the knee. Okay, bring the legs back, tuck the toes under, plant the hands down, push up and away, back into downward dog, gentle pedal, and we're going to do exactly the same with the right leg. So just step the right leg forward, drop the left knee down, untuck the toes, readjust that front leg if you need, and find that length, find the space through the hips and the pelvis, and then taking some movement. Again, don't forget those nice breaths in and out.
Feel free to take a nice cleansing breath, so breathing in through the nose and a nice sigh through the mouth. Okay, then exactly the same. We're just going to roll back, so we're lengthening that front leg, heel, toes pointing towards you, and breathe. Can sit further back if you want more of a stretch, but wherever you feel that length. And we'll rock. So gently forward and back. Now in any of these movements where your knees are on the floor, if you need some extra padding, obviously use your yoga mat. You can fold the yoga mat, fold the side of it over to add a double layer under the knee. Add a thin cushion, just something that feels good for you. Okay, bring that leg back, tuck the toes under. We'll push up to downward dog again. Pedal if you need, or take some stillness. Okay, drop the knees down, just move the legs back, open the knees wider, sit the bum back down onto the heels into child's pose. So you can have head on the hands, head on the floor, chin on the floor, whichever feels comfortable. If you can, on each exhale, try and push those sit bones further down towards the heels. You don't want a big space, but again, this is just dependent on space around your hips. Last inhale, and on your exhale, just rise up and come back to your comfortable starting seated position, whichever that is. And we'll just bring our session to a close. So when you're in that comfortable position, again, just think now about that length up through the spine. Those shoulders relaxing down, legs, knees relaxing outwards if you're sitting cross-legged. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, or just find a soft point to focus on. But just think how the body feels now for the last few moments. Do you feel a little looser, a little more relaxed? Have you at least just thought and felt some areas where you might be holding some tension? And it's good to know, because then we can work on those areas, and you'll often find imbalances between the right and the left side. But we'll just take a few breaths in your own time. as we inhale, just take the arms circled up above for a final stretch. Bring the hands together. Lower them down just in front of the chest into Anjali Mudra. Thank you for joining me on this short, simple first of my sessions. I hope you have a lovely day. Namaste.